Hi, welcome back. We're going to talk about something quite unusual now, I think. We're going to talk about a specific chord on the guitar. When you become more advanced at guitar, it does get easier, but as a guitarist, your natural inclination is to get the most sound and value for the least amount of effort, because it is a physical thing, playing the guitar. So anything you can do to get more variation, more sound, more interest, more music with hardly any effort, the better. And one of the chords that allows us to do that is the D chord, and in fact the A chord. Jerry's going to show you. If I play a standard D, and I'm not going to put my thumb over, and just strum gently down, that's what a D chord sounds like. Now, because of the proximity of the little finger to the first string, third fret, I can very easily, with no effort whatsoever, just add that finger down and play the chord again with the finger down. Imperceptible movement, but it's now opened up a whole range. What is that chord actually, Jerry?
A D sus4, which you probably see in your songs.
Now, there's something else I can do with the D chord. Again, imperceptible movement, but a completely different sounding chord, and that's to lift the finger that's on the first string. So I now get this sound. And that chord, Jerry's going to panic and think, I haven't got a clue what that is.
That's
he knows what it is.
D sus2.
D sus2. So now I've got a variation. I've got the chord itself. I've got the little finger go down on the third fret. And I've got the everything raise. And now I've got a whole set of endless combinations of strumming patterns just using that. Do you want to demonstrate it?
Yeah, absolutely. They always, whichever of those two you do, or if you do both of them, they always want to resolve back to a D. You'll find.
Yes.
So you play it.
For those non-techie, that means go back to the D.
I'm sorry, that's absolutely right, it does. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, again, you see, guitarists will just make stuff up around this pattern.
Yeah.
So here's a D chord.
Using the same idea with the strumming technique, there was one we talked about in the car this morning, a Wishbone Ash piece. The Beatles have done loads.
Yeah,
I know that
absolutely.
the Eagles have, but there's a Wishbone Ash piece.
There have been hundreds of songs written using variations on that. It's amazing what variety people can still get out of it, because it falls so naturally under your fingers. If some of you are already familiar with hammer-ons and pull-offs, you can use those too. So Mike's little finger on the third fret of the first string, play it and pull it off back to a D chord. You know? Great sound. Or when the finger lifts up, hammer it back on. You know, so many different things you can do
from a single chord.
Yeah.
So I know that when you begin, and we don't want to talk in a demeaning way, because everybody's a beginner at some point.
We've been beginners, yeah.
But you clamp the chord on, and your muscles are aching, and you've got your fingers in the right place, and you're not going to move those fingers because it took you all that effort together. But when you hold it as you see, we're both holding this chord very, very lightly, and a beginner, if you could feel the pressure that we use, I mean, it's barely enough just to
once the strings touch the fretboard, you pushed enough, haven't you?
So loads of variation from a single chord.
Another example of it would be, well, I won't say the name of the song because you'll know it. And that would go to the A chord, right?
Yeah.
And funnily
it moves
enough,
down, which is what you're going to talk
with
about
the
next.
A chord.
And immediately we both, just as a matter of interest here, Jerry, we've both held an A chord, and we're both playing it in a completely different way.
There are so many different ways of playing it.
I had never come across that version of the A chord until I saw you do it.
Right.
I'd always been taught to play it this way.
Yeah.
And there's no right or wrong way.
No.
This gives me things I can do, and it's a very easy way to play. But Jerry's holding it like a D7 shape, and that gives him different opportunities to play different things along with the A chord.
It does.
So you're the expert on the A chord because of your James Taylor stuff.
Yeah, James Taylor. Oh, that little trick we did with D and we're about to do with A.
Yeah.
James Taylor is all over that kind of stuff. But essentially, it's the same trick. However you play A, let's imagine most of you are probably playing it like that, I guess, with that little kind of diagonal line shape.
The three fingers.
Three fingers.
What I do is play it with two, and I'm actually playing all three fingers with two, and I just put them actually in between the strings and press,
the
and
two
it just
fingers cover.
Works perfectly to hold them down.
Great.
And very easy way to hold it.
Yeah. A is a funny chord. A lot of the guitar tuition books teach you A as your very first chord, and I never understood why that was, because it's one of the hardest chords to get initially, because they'll teach you probably to play it like this with three fingers, and that fourth string, I guarantee you, when you're first learning, it's going to go like that. Yeah. So I got around that by doing, as Mike said, the squashed up D7 shape with the first finger in the middle, and I like that as well because from D, that first finger is already in position to drop into the A chord. But whatever works for you, find what works for you. Anyway, once you've got your A chord, the second string of an A chord works the same way that the first string did for a D chord. So you can twiddle on an A chord by lifting the second string off, A sus2.
Which of course you can't do using the style that I use.
You can't unless you can kind of
you
hinge
can
that finger
just about, but it's not a standard technique.
Sure. But yes, if you're using three fingers, you can lift that second string off and put it back, and you can go to with your little finger probably, to the second string third fret, and take that off as well. So, and that's A sus4. So it's exactly like a D chord, acting the same way. So Bryan Adams used that to play. There's the D chord, here's the A chord. Exactly the same thing with both those two chords to get that famous riff at the start of Summer of '69.
Yeah, and those techniques actually do apply. Although we've not discussed this at length, we knew we were going to make the video about the D and the A chord, but there are little tricks you can do with other chords as well in a similar vein. But that technique just gives you so much more music for two chords effectively.
Yeah.
And if you just give us a bit of a general strum around using what you just used there, and just listen to how effortless this seems and how.
I wanted to do that too, but I was pretty sure you weren't going to think that.
I just moved on to the G and you but never mind. But you got the idea there, you know, for a little jamming session, if you've got friends come round, just spend half an hour on that. And songwriters especially, you've got a lot of variety there.
Definitely.
And that will make a song in the key of D a lot more interesting.
Yep.
So that's the D chord and the A chord trick.
Yep.
We'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.